Hey guys, how are ya? I missed ya. It's been a couple of weeks. I'm sorry about that. My posts, I haven't been doing them on Facebook either, and I think I've just been kind of sorting through some mental stuff, some kind of challenges in my life the last couple of weeks, and so I haven't been very consistent on Facebook or my videos, and I apologize about that. But I'm really excited about today's topic. I've been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of learning, and there's a thing I want to talk about. It's called belief and awareness. That's the topic I want to talk about today. And to be honest with you, I talk a lot about like one thing that'll really help you succeed in your life. There's quite a few of those one things. There's a handful of principles that successful people in any field or any frame of life, there's a handful of principles that successful people live by. And so that's kind of what I try to share every week when I make a video, is one of those principles, and today is no different. So I want to talk about belief and then awareness. I want to start by asking a question. So do you guys ever feel like you're on fire in life, you're kind of doing really good, maybe with a goal that you have or just something, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere you just feel like you're backsliding, and then you end up back where you started? Do you ever feel that way when you're setting goals or just in life? The answer is yes. I'm guessing most of you would say yes, because we all experience that. We all experience progress and then backward progress. We all have that happen, and I want to talk about what's really happening beneath the scenes and why that happens. So the reason is because the reason we have success in the first place is because we believe that we can do it, right? We believe that we can achieve something. And maybe we believe that just because we've seen other people have done it, so we're like, hey, if I can do it, they can, and we believe that we can do it, right? And maybe the reason we believe we can do it is because we actually try some of those steps that other people have done, and we start to see some success, and then we're like, holy smokes, I can do this, And so maybe that's where the belief comes from. But either way, the reason we have success in our life starts with a belief, or believing that we can do it. So that's step one. But also, I want to say that it ends with a belief too. So when we start to backslide, or we start to have a lack of success, it's because we start to believe that we can't do it. And I know that sounds so obvious, and you're like, well, I believe I can do it, but it's still happening. And the truth of the matter is, if you're backsliding, it's because you have stopped believing, whether you realize it or not. And I want to share an example. So, for example, I'm big into fitness. You guys all know that. I've done a lot of workout programs, and I like helping people succeed. And I've helped people lose or gain weight, whatever their goal is. And something I've noticed is when people start to lose weight, for example, a lot of times they'll be like, heck yeah, I can do this, and they will be losing all these pounds. They're like, I'm doing awesome. And then almost every time they'll have like 1 or 2 days where they, fall off their diet or something. They just have a couple of bad days, and they feel like crap. They're like, oh man, I'm a failure. I'm never going to reach my goals. And then almost inevitably, every time the progress that they were having, the rate of progress slows down. So they might still continue to lose weight, but it slows down a little bit. And the root issue is because they stopped believing that, that they could lose the weight. And what I mean by that is, and some people are probably, watching this saying, no, it's because they ate like crap. And yes, that factors into it, but you have to understand the power of your mind. And you believe you can do something, and you believe you will have something, your mind literally will create that, whether it's positive or negative. And so if you believe that you can lose weight, or you believe you can gain weight, and you keep telling yourself, man, the pounds are just flying off, they will. Somehow your body's going to find a way to crank up the metabolism, to make the changes it needs to make. It'll find a way. Whatever you tell your brain to do, it'll do, because it's like a circuit switch. It just adjusts automatically. And so with that in mind, the reason I'm telling you all of this, and you know, I talked about two things. I said belief, and then the second thing was awareness. See, the key to have greater success in your life is to increase your awareness of what you're actually telling yourself. You're actually probably telling yourself more negative things than you realize if you're in a rut, if you're in a pit. You know, be more aware of what you're saying to yourself when you're in a rut. And, you know, my good friend Eric Thomas, he says, I want you to think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low, right? And so with that in mind, you have to be more aware of what you're saying to yourself when your effort's low or when you're not reaching your goals. And so to increase greater success in your life, it's a two-step process. One, you raise your awareness. So you start writing down maybe what you're saying to yourself if you've got to do that much, whatever it takes. Write it down, write what you're kind of saying to yourself, and be more aware of what you say to yourself, and you're naturally going to be more positive when you're more aware. And then as you're more positive, you're going to just have more success because you'll start glowing, like you'll just be more enthusiastic. Don't you notice those people out there, they just feel like they've got it made, and they feel like, you almost like see them, they almost look like they're glowing sometimes. Now that sounds a little weird, but you just feel like everything's going good for them and that people love to listen to them, people love them. And you know, the reason is because they're on fire. They are in life, they're on fire, and they're having success because they believe they're awesome. They're super confident. And the reason they're that way is because they believe it. They believe it. Whether it's true or not, they believe it, and naturally they hold themselves that way. And so raise your awareness, change your belief about yourself, and you're gonna have a lot more success. I wanna make a quick mental anecdote. Just say that the last, you know, couple of weeks or whatever, obviously I've been struggling a little bit. And the reason is because I haven't believed I was as great as I really, you know, as I am. I've believed, oh, people don't want to talk to me, people don't care about what I'm selling, maybe, whatever that belief is. A lot of times it's subconscious. You know, I wasn't literally saying no one wants to talk to me, people hate me. I wasn't literally saying that, but in my mind I was believing that. And naturally, when you believe something, like I'm saying, you will start holding yourself differently. So I was kind of hunching my shoulders a little bit. You know, I didn't have a smile on my face like I usually did. And naturally, people didn't want to talk to me. So if you're afraid or you believe people don't want to talk to you, they won't, because your mind will create that physically. Like, you'll hold yourself differently. You'll be depressed. You'll look like someone that people don't want to talk to. So it compounds. And so, in other words, if you want to be more successful, be more aware of what you're saying to yourself, how you're holding yourself, and believe that you're something great, you know. And maybe you won't believe it at first. You know, if you're depressed, you're not going to believe you're that great. I mean, that's just how it is when we're depressed. But just start listing off things that you want to have, that you want to believe. Maybe you don't believe them, but maybe they're just things you want to believe, right? List those things off, write them down, get them on paper, and start saying them to yourself, even if it takes 20 times. I promise you, as you start writing those things down, as you start saying them, you'll have the success you want. You'll have the belief start to form that you want. And as you do that on a daily basis, it'll become easier and easier and easier. The reason that I've been depressed the last couple of weeks is because I stopped writing those things down and I stopped reading them to myself. And so even though I was doing really good for a while, I kind of got back into my rut. Door-to-door is a really good job it's a demanding job, and it's very easy to get depressed very quickly. And so it's a very good environment for me to test these principles firsthand and show you that they work, because quite frankly, in the non-door-to-door world, it's a little easier to not have these big swings of emotions that you do in door-to-door sales. And if anyone's done it, they know what I'm talking about. If you don't know it, you just have to believe me. But there's some big swings of emotions sometimes. But the way to avoid those swings, just as much in this job as in anything in life, is just to believe, just to write them down and just tell it to yourself over and over until you get in that right mindset to have the success you want. And so guys, I just want you to succeed. I love you. That's why I make these videos. Obviously I'm making them again. I'm getting back into it. Forgive me for falling out of that, but take some action today. I want you to grab out a notepad and take 2 or 3 minutes and write down what you want to believe about yourself. Not what you do, but what you want to. And start saying it to yourself. It might sound like a lie at first, probably will, but who cares? I mean, you can find evidence to support that you're not good. You can find evidence to support that you are good. Why don't you just choose the one that serves you better? So choose to believe the thing that's good. And you'll, choose to believe whatever makes you happier, right? Or whatever makes your life better. Whether it's completely 100% true or not, who cares? So just go out there, achieve some greatness. You start by doing that, by writing down what you want to have. And I want to hear about it. Message me, text me, whatever. I want to hear about it. So, but I want to ultimately, whether you message me or not, I just want to see you guys succeed. I love you. Logan Thomas, motivational coach here, signing out. We'll see ya.